Welcome to SRO Tricks and Treats. You're always welcome to sing along, and this time we have song sheets because these are parodies of Christmas songs. So some of the songs we're giving you the words for, some we are not. We'll start off with song number 1. Songs 2 and followed by 3. Treat by Jack Proletsky.
Trick or treat, trick or treat, give us something good to eat. Give us candy, give us cake, give us something good to take. Give us candy, fruit, and gum. Hurry up and give us some.
You had better do it quick, or we'll surely do a trick.
Trick or treat, trick or treat, give us something good to eat.
Halloween night, trick-or-treating had children and young adults engaged in mischief to those not participating, soaping windows, throwing flour in people's faces, setting fire to bags of dog food left at front doors, opening fire hydrants, and tipping over outhouses.
By 1938, Halloween pranks had become destructive tricks, breaking windows and vandalizing cemeteries. Catherine Krieg, director of the Des Moines Parks and Recreation Commission, began a campaign to encourage less violent forms of Halloween fun.
She declared October 30th as Beggars' Night, the night of trick for a treat, and required that children should only receive their treat after earning it by performing a trick, singing a song, reciting a poem, or telling a joke.
An October 1942 Des Moines Register article appealed to children's patriotism to not waste soap or interrupt the sleep of war workers with ringing doorbells. They encouraged them to go door to door and shout tricks for eats, aiding the war effort by working for their candy.
Song number 4.
A pumpkin is a member of the gourd family, described as a large, round, orange-yellow edible fruit with many seeds.
Grown in North America for about 5,000 years, they were once recommended for removing freckles and healing snake bites. They are great for baking.
What do you get if you divide the circumference of a pumpkin by its diameter?
Pumpkin pie.
When two pumpkins stepped off the curb, a speeding car came around the corner and ran over one of them.
The uninjured pumpkin called 911 and his friend was taken to the hospital and into surgery. The doctor finally appeared.
I have good news and bad news. The good news is that your friend is going to pull through. The bad news is that he's going to be a vegetable for the rest of his life.
Fruit or vegetable, the pumpkin is an edible plant of a mature ovary of a flowering plant, also called a cucurbit.
Highlights from the 2016 Cucurbit Oscars. Oscars.
Orange, shiny cucurbits are really spectacular.
There was a three-way tie for Best Picture.
Bridge of Spies. An American lawyer is recruited to defend an arrested Soviet pumpkin grower accused of spying on American pumpkin patches.
Mad Max, Pumpkin Road. In a desert landscape, everyone is fighting to grow the best pumpkin. Two rebel growers might be able to restore order. Big Max, an experienced grower, and Cucurbita, who believes her path to survival may be a rare pumpkin strain found near her childhood homeland.
The Revenant, a frontiersman on a pumpkin growing expedition in the 1820s, fights for survival after being mauled by a pumpkin-eating groundhog and left for dead by members of his garden club.
Honorable mention went to
Brooklyn. A 1950s Irish immigrant grows a record pumpkin from seed she smuggled in from the old sod. When the past catches up with her, she must choose which country gets the credit. The one where the seed originated, or the soil from which it grew.
the Oscar for the best drama was given to
45 years. A couple preparing to celebrate their 45th wedding anniversary receives shattering news. A pumpkin plant that they started from seed on their wedding day has just died. Now, what would they do with their summers?
Best documentary went to The Look of Silence.
It tried to answer the question, if a vine breaks in the middle of a pumpkin patch, will it make any noise? Watch the film to hear the answer.
There was a tie for the best science fiction.
Pumpkin Wars, The Force Awakens. After the defeat of the Galactic Empire, a new threat arises. The First Order is attempting to rule all pumpkin patches, and only a ragtag group of growers can stop them, along with the help of the PDR, Plant Disease Resistance.
The Martian. During a manned mission to Mars, astronaut Mark Casper is left stranded on the hostile planet with meager supplies. Drawing upon his gardening experience, he figures out how to grow white pumpkins. Fortified by his limited diet, he awaits rescue.
The Lifetime Achievement was awarded to
Gone with the Frost. During the Civil War era, it's pumpkin grower versus pumpkin grower. This classic movie chronicles battle after battle with insects and then plant disease until the final battle, a killer frost. This award honors not only Scarlett O'Pumpkin, but all Civil War era pumpkin growers.
song number 5. pumpkin is not a jack-o'-lantern until he's carved.
The Pumpkin by John Greenleaf Whittier. Oh, fruit, loved of childhood, the old days recalling, when wood grapes were purpling and brown nuts were falling, when wild ugly faces we carved in its skin, glaring out with the dark and with a candle.
On All Hallows Eve, the Irish hollowed out turnips, rutabagas, gourds, potatoes, and beets, then placed an ember in them to ward off evil spirits.
The Irish brought the tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns to America. When they discovered that pumpkins were bigger and easier to carve, they used them for their jack-o'-lanterns.
Husband and wife Halloween pumpkins are having a conversation.
Page are we on? They mutilated us.
Now I have a mouth, a nose, and eyes.
Me too.
I look ugly.
The good thing is you're speaking and I don't have to read your mind.
And you seem to have lost some weight.
You're complimenting me? Thanks. But I don't like losing weight through surgery. Going to the gym is always better.
Now I have 2 mouths to feed and no hands or legs to earn a livelihood.
What will happen to us?
The joke is that the people who did this called us evil and ran away.
Honestly, I feel empty inside, like my soul has left me.
Why are the kids given knives to cut out the innards of a living being?
And then they wonder why society has so many psychopaths.
I still don't get it. All the houses today have electricity. Why do they require lanterns?
And if a lantern is needed, why don't they buy one or borrow it? Why do they convert a pumpkin into a lantern and scare people?
I wish that they'd carve me some teeth, then I could bite the children that came trick-or-treating.
I wish we would have grown underground like potatoes.
Look at that thing called a pumpkin pie. It's so strange. It smells like us, but it looks like some car ran over it.
Car accidents, drunken driving. Then they blame it on ghosts and celebrate by killing more pumpkins on Halloween.
I feel lost.
Don't worry. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Look into my mouth and you will see it.
Song
6.
is full and bright, and we shall see what can't be seen on any other night.
Skeletons and ghosts and ghouls, grinning goblins fighting duels, werewolves rising from their tombs, witches on their magic.
In masks and gowns, we haunt the street and knock on doors for trick or treat. Tonight we are the king and queen, for oh, tonight it's Halloween.
Song 7.
What happens when a ghost haunts a theater?
The actors get stage fright.
On Halloween, a photographer goes to a haunted castle to get a picture of a ghost. He encounters a friendly ghost who poses for a snapshot.
When the photographer downloads his photos, he finds them underexposed and completely blank.
Moral of the story,
The spirit is willing, but the flash is weak.
Seeing Things by Eugene Field.
I ain't afeard of snakes or toads or bugs or worms or mice, and things that girls has scared of I think are awful nice. I'm pretty brave, I guess, and yet I hate to go to bed. For when I'm tucked up warm and snug, and when my prayers are said, Mother tells me happy dreams and takes away the light and leaves me lying all alone and seeing things at night.
Sometimes they're in the corner. Sometimes they're by the door. Sometimes they're standing in the middle of the floor. Sometimes they're sitting down. Sometimes they're walking around. So softly and so creepy like, they never make a sound. Sometimes they're black as ink. Other times they're white. But the color ain't no difference when you're seeing things at night.
Once, when I licked a feller and had just moved on our street, and Father sent me up to bed without a bite to eat, I woke up in the dark and saw things standing in a row, looking at me cross-eyed and a-pointing at me so. Oh, God, I was so scared that time. I never slept a mite. It's almost always when I'm bad I see things at night.
Lucky thing I ain't a girl, or I'd be scared to death. Being I'm a boy, I duck my head and hold my breath. And I am oh so sorry that I'm a naughty boy, and then I promise to be better and say my prayers again. Grandma tells me that's the only way to make it right when a feller's been wicked and seeing things at night.
And so, when other naughty boys would coax me into sin, I try to swoosh the tempter's voice that urges me within. And when there's pie for supper or cakes as big and nice, I want to, but I don't pass my plate for them things twice. No, rather let starvation wipe me slowly out of sight. Then I should keep a living on, seeing things at night.
You're seeing things in the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
Something weird. Sure ain't good. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
I'm afraid of no ghosts. I'm afraid of no ghosts. You're seeing things running through your head. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
An invisible man sleeping in your bed. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
I'm afraid of no ghosts. I'm afraid of no ghosts. Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
What do mummies like listening to on Halloween?
Rap music. Why don't mummies go on vacation?
They're afraid they will relax and unwind.
Halloween is nearly here by Ken Nesbitt. Halloween is nearly here. I've got my costume planned. I'm sure to be the most horrific outfit in the land. If you should see me coming, you may scream or hide your head. My get-up will, I guarantee, fill every heart with dread. My costume may cause nightmares. Yes, my mask may stop your heart. You might just shriek and wet yourself, then squeamishly depart. And yet, I won't be dressing as you might expect me to. I will not be a vampire or a ghost that hollers boo. I won't look like a werewolf or a goblin or a ghoul, or even like a slimy blob of deadly, dripping drool. I will not be a zombie or some other horrid creature. No, this year, I'll be much, much worse. I'm dressing as a teacher. Why didn't the skeleton like Halloween candy?
He didn't have the stomach for it. Skeleton Parade by Jack Perletsky. The skeletons are out tonight. They march about the street with bony bodies, bony heads, and bony hands and feet. Bony, bony, bony bones with nothing in between. Up and down and all around. They march on Halloween.
Ezekiel cried, "Them bones." Ezekiel cried, "Them dry bones." Ezekiel cried, "Dry bones." I hear
Shoulder,
Halloween Tale from a Vienna graveyard.
A tourist in Vienna passed a graveyard on October 31st. All of a sudden, he heard music coming from a grave with the headstone Ludwig van Beethoven, 1770 to 1827.
He recognized the music as the Ninth Symphony being played backward. Puzzled, he left the graveyard and persuaded a friend to return with him.
On arrival at the grave, the music had changed. The Seventh Symphony was being played backward. Curious, the men agreed to consult a music scholar.
When they returned with the expert, the Fifth Symphony was being played backward. The expert noticed that the symphonies were being played in the reverse order from which they were composed, 9th, 7th, and 5th.
By the next day, the word had spread and a throng had gathered around the grave. They were listening to the Second Symphony being played backward.
Just then, the graveyard's caretaker ambled up to the group. Someone asked him if he had an explanation for the music.
It's nothing to worry about. He's just decomposing.
Why do they put fences around graveyards?
People are dying to get in.
Song number 8.
I Think My Dad is Dracula by Ken Nesbitt.
I think my dad is Dracula. I know that sounds insane, but listen for a moment and allow me to explain. We don't live in a castle and we never sleep in caves, but still there's something weird about the way my dad behaves. I never see him go out in the daytime when it's light. He sleeps all day till evening, then he leaves the house at night. He comes home in the morning saying,
Man, I'm really dead.
he kisses us goodnight, and then by sunrise he's in bed. My mom heard my suspicions, and she said,
You're not too swift. Your father's not a vampire. He just works a graveyard shift.
what is Dracula's favorite circus act?
He always goes for the jug.
Make Me a Vampire by D.M. Larson.
May I help you?
I heard you guys at Vampire Venture Inc. are the best of the best. When it comes to hunting down humans, I bet your group has converted half of humanity to being vampires.
We successfully transformed 51.9% of humanity into vampires.
Oh, slightly more than half. Most impressive.
Sir, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave. This is no place for humans of your type.
My type? Well, that's why I'm here. I know that normally you vamps avoid my kind, but I really want to become a vampire.
You want to become one?
It's getting lonely with most of humanity being undead. And once people are one of you, then they want nothing to do with me.
It's the smell. It's unbearable.
Ambrose, what is that terrible smell?
Our visitor. I am trying to remove him.
Well, do so post haste. He's smelling up the entire lobby.
Please, wait! I need your help! I want to become a vampire!
Sorry, we don't deal with your type. No one does.
Oh, there must be someone willing to convert me. It's what your entire organization is built on. You're the best.
No one here will be willing to touch someone with your blood type. B, I presume, by the stench.
B negative.
That is even worse. O is a delicacy that vampires crave the most. A is good, a fine blood type we can all enjoy. AB is tolerable. It's mixed with B, but A is strong enough to make it drinkable. But B is the absolute worst. B positive is bad enough. It smells like a skunk peeling an onion in a garbage processing plant. But B negative, it is a rare and horrific stench. I can't even imagine what the taste must be like. Horrendous, I am sure.
But there has to be someone who can help me. Maybe you have a new recruit you could force to do it. Or maybe there's some initiation you want to do that involves drinking the worst blood ever. Or maybe do a new reality TV show, and it's one of the horrible tasks they have to perform. Or drinking my blood could be a practical joke.
A joke on someone I despise.
Exactly.
There is no one I dislike that much. Please vacate the premises or I will have you forcibly removed.
Oh, please! I don't want to be a part of society again. Let me live forever like the rest of you.
Haunted House by Jack Kurleski.
There's a house upon the hilltop. We will not go inside, for that is where the witches live, where ghosts and goblins hide.
Tonight they have their party. All the lights are burning bright. But oh, we will not go inside the haunted house tonight.
The demons there are whirling, and the spirits swirl about. They sing their songs to Halloween.
Come join the fun, they shout.
But we do not want to go there, so we run with all our might. And oh, we will not go inside the haunted house tonight.
Those fingers in my hair, that's my computer stare, that strips my conscience bare, is witchcraft. it's yes indeed. Proceed with what you're leading me to. It's such an ancient hitch, but one I wouldn't switch, 'cause there's no nicer way.
Now you quit all of that witchy chatter. I've come to dispute the matter. Let me talk with you a while. I'm Miss Wanda May, a witch with style. Now, when I walk into a room, everyone expects a black cat and a broom. But when Miss Wanda May comes to town, she brings her wand and wears her crown. And black, my dear, is oh so drear. Pretty colors help to show my witchly, lovely, lovely witch's glow. And you will never hear a cackle from me. I much prefer a cold. And there will be no snakes or toads in my pot. But I do like vegetable soup a lot. And there will be no bats anywhere. I don't want them to mess my hair. Oh, and I don't fly. That's for a loser. I drive a silver PT Cruiser. And there are no cats in my house. But I have a little dog named Mouse. And so you see, I'm almost just like you. Except for the magic I can do, like disappear.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Where's your witch? Wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, you sleepy head. Rub your eyes, get out of bed. Wake up, the wicked witch is dead. She's gone like the goblins go below, below, below your wall. Let's walk it up and sing and ring the bells of ding dong, the merry-go. Sing it high, sing it low, let them know the wicked witch is dead. Let them know the wicked witch is dead.
Mary and Percy Shelley and Lord Byron had a competition to see who could write the best horror story. Mary's novel evolved from a dream about a scientist who created life and was horrified by what he had made.
It was originally titled Frankenstein, or the Modern Prometheus. Prometheus, a titan in Greek mythology, stole fire from the gods and gave it to mankind. Victor Frankenstein stole the secret to creating life from nature.
The first edition of the novel was published anonymously in London on January 1st, 1818, when Mary Shelley was 20. Her name first appeared on the second edition, published in France in 1823.
Oh My Darling Frankenstein by Ken Nesbitt.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling Frankenstein. I abhor you and adore you. You're my darling Frankenstein.
Your creator was a doctor in a castle near the Rhine. On a slab inside his lab, you were constructed, Frankenstein.
Arms and legs and head and torso that the doctor did combine. Bolts of lightning, very frightening, gave you life, dear Frankenstein.
Then you rose up from the table with a bellow and a whine. You went lurching, simply searching for some dinner, Frankenstein.
When the townsfolk saw you coming, you sent shivers down their spine, so they chased you with their pitchforks and their torches, Frankenstein. Then you lumbered to the forest, where you hid among the pines.
While the doc, he did concoct me a bride for Frankenstein. We were married in a castle, and forever you'll be mine. We are creatures, a double feature. Oh, my darling Frankenstein.
In the lab late one night, when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did not and the monster mash. There was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. And caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash.
From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a joke from my electrodes.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking over digging sounds. Igor chained, the dice made hounds. The coffin bangers were about to cry when their local group, the Crypt Kicker Five, they played the monster mash. It was a big gun smash. They played the mash. It caught on in a fire. They played the monster mash.
Out from his coffin, Drax voice and ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. Open the lid into this whistling thing. Whatever happened to my Transylvanian place?
Now the mash.
Now the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
Now the mash.
Caught on in a flash. Now the monster mash.
Now everything's cool, Drax parlor band, and my monster mash is the hidden land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you. And you get monster mash.
The monster mash.
And do my graveyard smash. You get on in a flash. And you get monster mash.
Monster mash.
Top 10 ways you know you're too old to trick or treat.
Number 10, you keep knocking on your own front door.
Number 9, you remove your false teeth to change your appearance.
Number 8, you ask for high fiber treats.
Number 7. When someone drops a candy bar in your bag, you lose your balance and fall over.
Number 6. People say, great Boris Karloff mask, when you're not wearing a mask.
Number 5, when you open the door, you yell, trick or
Treat!
Number 4, by night's end, you have a bag full of restraining orders.
Number 3, you have to carefully choose a costume that doesn't dislodge your hairpiece.
Number 2, you're the only Peter Pan with a walker.
The number 1 reason seniors should not go trick-or-treating: you keep having to go home to pee.